So call the meeting to order. It's 6:30. Stand for the pledge, please. I don't have a flag, but I'll
I'm
pretend.
virtually standing.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America,
and to the
of the
republic
republic for which it
for which
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
all.
All right, thank you. Do we have anybody for public forum? Anybody? No?
I think Kevin wanted to talk.
Okay.
Hi, thank you.
Okay.
I hope everybody's doing well. I just wanted to talk about a couple brief things here. Your faculty and staff continue to give themselves in many ways that you never hear about, both to individual students and families in need every single day. I want to highlight just a couple of the things that are more visible during this holiday season to give you an idea of how dedicated your staff are to the school and the community. The Faculty Association organized and provided holiday gifts for 48 of our families for a total of 107 individual children being provided Christmas. We even delivered some donated Christmas trees to several of the families in our district. Under the organization of the Faculty Association, all of the associations, including the support staff, the principals, the middle management, senior management, and district office staff, participated in holiday gift or holiday food drive rather than doing the usual Secret Santa stuff. The food collected is going to be given to the 2 local food banks. We already have a huge table full of food that's going to be delivered Friday. I'm sure you're all aware that for decades, the Faculty Association ran the annual Powwow Scholarship fundraiser. Obviously, for COVID, we were not able to do it this year. However, we did want to continue the scholarship monies that we've been giving out to seniors for years. So the membership reached into their own pockets, and the members donated almost $4,000 out of their own pockets to give the scholarships this spring. That's how dedicated they are to continuing the scholarship drives. The faculty were given a little bit of an early Thanksgiving present by being allowed to conduct their parent-teacher conferences from home if they chose to, which gave them the opportunity to have dinner at home and not have to dodge deer on the Taconic Parkway at 7:30 at night. That was well received by the faculty as a nice thank you for the hard work that they've been doing. I also want to point out that all the teachers who have been either tested positive or been quarantined have continued to teach remotely, giving excellent and consistent service to the students that we have, despite having the possibility of tapping into 14 what are called COVID days. They haven't done that. They've continued to work. I really hope that we don't have to go fully remote. With all the staff and faculty and all the departments are working very hard to avoid that possibility. If we do, I want you to begin thinking of that possibility. The staff will be teaching remotely from their classrooms. However, I'm hopeful that we'll continue to follow the standard closing procedures in case of bad weather, protecting the faculty as well as how we would always protect the staff. If the faculty and staff continue to perform their duties in an exceptionally high level of professionalism, despite working under stressful circumstances, which you all are working under, please be aware that the pandemic is beginning to wear down some of your staff. Continuing to recognize their efforts would be greatly appreciated. It would be well deserved, and it would also be well received. I just wanted to mention those few things to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, I need a motion for the acceptance of the agenda. Can I have a motion, please? Ron, second. Joe, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
I have a question.
Yes, Craig.
I noticed on the agenda that there are no reports tonight. That's good for a shorter meeting. Thank you. I was hoping to ask Neil a couple of follow-up questions from our workshop, which I thought I would do during his report time. Wouldn't take very long. Can we put that on the agenda?
You can just ask Craig during that time. That's all you have to do.
Okay, I thought there wasn't anything on the agenda for reports. Did I misread that?
We do have to approve the comprehensive plan, so you could probably ask during that time. That's E.
Okay, thank you.
Yep,
Thank you.
okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. And actually, if you guys could say aye tonight, only because what I'm seeing, you're on two different screens, all the board members, so if you could just say aye, that would probably be a little more helpful. All right, thanks. Okay, so now I need a motion for the acceptance of the consensus agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Motion, Dave, second.
Second, Linda?
Linda, okay. Any questions? The only thing I would like to say is because we do have a retirement, we have a Pamela Keeler secretary. So I'd like to say congratulations and we wish you well. All right. Anybody else got anything? All right, all in favor? Aye.
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 Any nay? All right, thank you. Okay, we have no presentations, reports, or old business. We do have some new business. I need to have a motion for the approval of the 2021, 2022 budget calendar. Motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Dave, second. Ron? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, next up, we have the therapy dog handler agreement. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of Taconic Hill Central School District, upon the recommendation of Neil Howard Jr., Superintendent of Schools, hereby reappoints Linda Miller as a part-time animal handler commencing January 1st, 2021, and ending December 31st, 2021, unless earlier terminated or further extended in accordance with the agreement dated December 16th, 2020. Motion, please.
I'll make that motion.
Carrie, second.
Linda?
Linda, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any questions?
Sorry, questions.
How much does the dog handler cost us?
30,000.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Next up is the tax cert reserve accounts. I'm not gonna read all of the wording. I'm just gonna tell you that we're gonna amend 2019, 2020. We're gonna close out 2018, 2019. We're closing out 2017, 2018, 2016 through 2017. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll motion.
Dave? Second?
Joe.
Joe? Okay, any questions on that? All in favor?
I actually do have a question.
Okay, okay, Dave.
It's not clear to me. I understand what the accounts are for.
Okay,
Going back to the 17-18 year, there was $87,000 remaining. How is that with this account that we would have so much left over?
So when these accounts are created, Sybil, Dave, they are created under a worst case scenario situation. So when a taxpayer files a claim for a tax decrease, there is a potential for lost revenue. And we always assume the worst. And then sometimes those judgments can take a few years, and generally the judgments go back up to 3 years worth of refunds.
I didn't realize that it could be potentially that far back. I thought it was only for the 1 year. So these would represent where there was the potential because someone was appealing their assessment.
That's correct.
And then the judgment did not go in the favor for that amount.
Or the judgment was for less than they were seeking.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
anybody else? All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. So now we have, let's see.
The intermunicipal agreement.
Well, well, that was the one. Okay, so now we have, I'm sorry, I got screwed up there. All right, approval of the intermunicipal agreement of the town of Copake effective January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. Can I have a motion, please?
Make that motion.
Terry, okay, and second?
Sure, I'll second it.
Dave, okay. Any questions? All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have E, approval of this, the CR Part 154 Comprehensive Plan. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Joe, second?
I'll second it.
Dave, okay. Okay, questions? All right. I know that Craig has a question.
Okay, thank you. So this is not related to the comprehensive plan, but thank you for the moment, for the floor. I found the workshop to be really excellent. So thanks for organizing that. I learned some new things that the Latino kids were doing better than what the graduation rate had indicated. If you would just add this, the 5th or 6th year, it was all good news. What was still apparent and agreed by the ELL teachers is that they believed that there should be better representation in terms of staff, teachers, and so on with different cohorts like the Latinx population. So sometime past,
I thought you had a question, Craig. You have a question?
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
I'm giving you the
Yeah.
I'm giving the background of the question. So sometime back when we were not meeting, when we didn't have COVID, we were in a policy meeting, and I suggested that we have a minority advocate, and Neil said that he would be the minority advocate, and I thought that was fine. So my question to Neil is, as the minority advocate, and given that the ELL teachers agree that there should be better representation in terms of staff and teachers, and given the difficulty it is of hiring such staff, what is your action plan to specifically address this issue, to go after more staff to adequately represent the population that we have in the school that is growing, which was 10%, then 11%, and now 12%. That population continues to grow. So my question to Neil is, what is your action plan to help improve the ratio of staff we have into Conic Hills? That is the question.
So I got a quote a couple days ago from a headhunter who would like $4,000 a person that he provides to us. And I thought that was a little exorbitant. I also can put things or parameters on OLAS, but in general, you can't preclude people from applying for jobs. So we're going to be reaching out as best we can to minority communities in colleges that have the potential to help us. You know, I just can encourage them to apply, but I'm not going to be giving them any more money on the contract, or not any bonuses or anything like that. I don't think that would be fair to the other new teachers. So at this time, that's kind of our plan and how we're going to move forward. As I recall, the conversation on the policy committee, it was not concerning hiring of being a minority advocate. It was in a different context, but I have no problem trying to support diversity in the school district. I would love to do that, and we can take that into our hiring considerations.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
well, just as a follow to that. So I appreciate the response. I'd like to have a periodic report. It doesn't have to be every meeting, but I would like to have a periodic report on how we're doing on this issue. And if at a later date,
Did you
if we're
just say,
not making,
did you just say I again, Craig? Did you just say I?
as a board member, I can request anything I want. You don't have to agree to it.
Well, the rest of us, if we don't want it, we don't have to. So you
Well,
have
how
to
do
be
you know
careful.
who the
You
rest
have to be
is?
careful how you speak, Craig.
You know,
That's
how do you know
all.
how the rest of, you could ask the rest how they feel about
Well,
it. I'm telling you how I feel.
Bonnie,
So if I could
Yes,
finish my sentence and then go after you, just half a sentence, Joe, and then I'll yield the floor. I would appreciate as a board member to have a periodic review of how we're doing. And then at that time, perhaps reconsider a headhunter. So that's my request. Obviously, other board members may have the same or different views. Joe?
all right, Joe. Thank you.
I keep hearing about this Latinx. I haven't heard that terminology till the workshop. What is a Latinx? Is it a special kind of person that Greg is trying to support? And we're not going to do Middle Eastern people or Russian people or Italian people? Greg's only concerned about the Latin people. I think we're heading down a bad road here with one person. Greg sends all these emails, nobody responds. He's the only one. Well, I think we should poll the board and take a vote and put this Latinx thing with Greg to rest, and we don't discuss it anymore. The people are doing a good job. He twists everything that what happens at the workshop, he twists everything. He's making problems in our school. I don't know what problems he's looking for. I think we should decide that, I'm sorry, the board should survive. I don't need to say I because it's not about me. Okay? Nobody responds. Everybody go back and check the emails. Every time he has a question about this Latinx or minority stuff, nobody really responds. So even if two responded, it's still not the majority of the board. So we need to do something so we could do something productive for these kids in our school. I'm sick and tired of this. I don't know what his agenda is, but we need to stop the waste of time of questions for no reason just to say, I asked a question. Thank you.
Would you like me to answer your question or?
I don't want you to answer me anything, Craig.
I would like
You
to say
asked me-
something. The
You asked me what
category,
Latinx is. You asked me what Latinx is, and just so you understand the definition, Latino refers to males, Latina refers to females, and Latinx refers to both genders together, just to answer your question.
Okay,
I'm
thank
sorry,
you.
Dave.
All right, Dave, you said that
I'd
you
like
want
to add something.
Dave? Yep.
The notion of the population that Craig is referring to as Latinx has always been reported by New York State data reporting and required by federal data requirements as Latino. Clearly, within the last year or two, to make it non-sexist, this Latinx, the X was added. But this category has been identified nationally as a group of individuals that have learning needs and challenges that are unique. And that is why they are identified on state reports. So clearly, we are required to report on this group of students, as we are to report on other groups also. But this represents 12% of our population and should be a dialogue that as educators, we are looking at as a group, because as a group, they offer unique challenges that their experiences are different than other students. And they're identified that way. So it is reasonable to be discussing it, talking about it, and looking at what we can do to improve the performance of this particular subgroup, as we should be looking at any subgroup.
Okay.
If I may say something as well.
Well, Terry, go, Terry first. Go ahead, Terry.
Okay,
I just wanted to say two things. One is I took away from our workshop that we were doing an excellent job and that
Me
we
too.
were making every
too.
effort to
Me too.
recruit. I did not
Our
hear
staff is doing a
that we
great
were
job.
lacking. And it was not necessarily a realistic expectation, although I do acknowledge the importance of and I call them Hispanic. I don't know when the name changed, but the Hispanic community and their needs. I think that's important, as well as recognizing other groups as well. But comments have been made to me from people in the audience that they're actually perceiving Craig's special interest with this group as being racist on his part. And, I don't understand that, but people have mentioned that to me. So, I think we're again on a slippery slope with this issue.
Well, I think it's
Let-
racist to ignore the
All right.
fact that we
I want
have.
Linda can have her say. Go ahead, Linda.
I just want to mention, for a broader and more historic look at all of this, I want to recommend Isabel Wilkerson's book that's out now. I'm going to say the name and you're going to think I'm saying cats, and I'm saying caste, C-A-S-T-E. And it's a look at the role of caste in relationships throughout the world, India, other countries, and especially in America. And it's a breathtaking look at how white people in America have looked at people of every other color, including Italians from Southern Italy and the Irish and Chinese. Interesting chapter about how they looked at the Japanese. Japanese claimed they were white, and the Supreme Court said,
Linda, I don't really mean to cut you off.
I
but
just
this
want to
is a- this
suggest
is a
that
business meeting.
anyone who wants
And
to.
now we're going into the weeds a little bit. So is
Might
there
read
something
that
else you
book.
wanted to say?
That's all, a book
Okay.
assignment.
All right, Neil, what's up?
So I just want to make one correction, David. We do not report Latinx. We only report Hispanic.
Thank you. Okay,
Well, it is the
Let's-
Hispanic.
let's move
the
on to
reporting
the
of Hispanic.
comprehensive, the approval of the CR Part 154 Comprehensive Plan for the 2021-2026. Could I have a motion, please?
Bonnie, I would like to respond to Neil since he addressed a comment to me.
Can I have a motion, please?
Once again, I would like to.
I'll make
Make that motion.
Alicia, could I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Terry? Okay, Dave, make your response.
My response was, Neil, I understand that as a term, that is not what is reported, but historically, that group referred to as Hispanic is reported. And it's semantics at this point. We are talking about the same subgroup.
Okay, all in favor of the approval of this comprehensive plan?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Thank you. We're on to F, acceptance of the insurance proceeds in the amount of $4,754 from the November 16, 2020 accident in relation to vehicle number 24. Can I
You're
have
only
a-
missing 3 zeros.
Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Thanks, Alicia. Second,
Second.
who's that, Heidi? Thank you. All in favor, or any questions on that?
Can we still get the 4 million?
Sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. G, approval of the following donations. We have 4 Lazy Bracket mobile phone holders from Jessica Schofield Murphy. This to provide resources for remote teachers to be used as a document camera for note taking. All right, can I have a motion, please? Motion? Heidi? Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Alicia, any questions on that donation? All in favor?
I
Aye.
have a question. I have a
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Craig. Yep, go ahead, Craig. Sorry.
Well, it's not really about the donation. Not really about the donation, but I wasn't sure where to fit this in. So what are we going to discuss the scoreboard that was in the agenda?
Yes,
It was-
that's
there
going to
was
be
a
at the end.
Word
It's going to be
document
at
that
the
was sent out.
additional items to discuss. That'd be at the end, Craig. We are going to talk about that.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep. All in favor?
Thank
Do
you.
that again.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so H, I am not going to read all of this. It's the Cooperative Energy Purchasing Service for electricity. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll make the
Motion? Dave, second.
Second.
Joe? All right, and I'm just gonna give it to Sybil so she can explain this a little bit, then we'll vote on it, okay? Sybil?
It's a bid that occurs every 3 years. It is the cooperative that the school district participates in to purchase energy along with many other school districts and municipalities. So we get our electricity at a cheaper cost. And then that's supplemented by, of course, our solar production as well. But we have to have this resolution in order to participate in the bid. And then those prices would come in and be in effect for 3 years.
Sybil, how much is the solar portion?
It really depends, Terry, on.
On how much sun there is? No.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes,
it does. Okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any nays? Okay. All right, so now we have, be it resolved, the Board of Education, Taconic Hill Central School District hereby votes to consider the recommendations of the fact finder in the matter of the negotiations between the district and the Taconic Hills Administrations Association. Can I have a motion, please? Motion? Ron,
Motion.
second. Joe? Okay, Neil, you have something, right?
Yes, I'd like to discuss a little bit of the specifics.
Okay,
After a preliminary, after presentation of facts by the district and by the Administrative Association, at a hearing in September, the fact finder recommends a 4% raise for each member of the Taconic Hills Admin Association for each of 4 years. This recommendation mirrors the proposal made by the Taconic Hills Administrative Association. The district has offered 2% raises at this time. No other terms or conditions of employment for the administrators will change.
all right, anybody want to discuss any of this or, as part of this, I was at the fact finding, session and, I will say this, the lawyer for the administrative team was, in my opinion, very unprofessional. That's what I considered him to be. And I read this report from this, I don't know if the rest of you read this, but I thought it was a little weird that he mentions the Copake Country Club. And he says it's a Greene County gem. It's in Columbia County. And he talks about a lot of things that I don't believe are pertinent to this particular thing. I mean, and then he also, he puts in there that he observed these high-end construction homes going up while he's playing golf at the Copake Country Club. Again, I'm not quite sure what any of this has to do with what his fact finding was about. This was really disappointing in my opinion. I just didn't understand where this guy was coming from. Anybody else got anything? Did you all read it?
Mm-hmm.
I did. I'm a little confused as to where we are on the agenda.
Where you are where? We are on J or I, sorry. You see
Oh,
it?
okay, I didn't see it with the,
I know, that thing was long. Yeah, yeah.
right.
So does anyone have any more questions about the Mr. Mayo's report? No?
Nope.
Okay, so what we are voting on if we are going to consider the recommendations by this fact finder. So is there so who's in favor of this fact finding and want to take the recommendations of this fact finder? Anyone in favor? How about not in favor? That would be me. Joe, Ron,
I think I am not in favor.
Would agree.
Alicia, Heidi, Craig, Dave, where are you?
I am, I'm uncomfortable discussing the terms of the negotiation without having fully discussed this outside of this meeting.
Well, it has to be discussed in public, so that's what we're doing.
Well,
That was what our lawyer told
My-
us we have to do.
my concern is that the fact finding did not appear to me to delineate all the circumstances and all the relevant issues. So I guess with that said, I can't support the fact finding as it stands.
Correct. Okay, so we're all in agreement with the nays, right? Correct? All right. Thank you. All right, and now we're going to do the additional items to discuss. So you all got an email from Neil about Angela's report to us about the sports, the fall sports. So Sybil's going to talk a little bit about that because we do have to make some decisions tonight with a head nod kind of. So giving it over to Sybil.
So in Angela's athletic budget for this school year, she had planned to purchase Pixelot camera systems, which would have provided a streaming experience for athletics. Unfortunately, once we got to the contract part of that purchase, Pixelot had changed some of the terms of their agreement. And the bottom line is that in order for us to participate at no cost in terms of a membership, the way parents could have access to the streaming service was by purchasing subscriptions from Pixelot. And school districts are not able to allow vendors to make money off of kids and families. So we were advised to not enter into that agreement. The funds are in the equipment code. They can only be used for equipment purchases. So she's asking to reallocate her budget money in the equipment code to scoreboards for the high school gymnasium. They are due to be replaced in the coming years. So rather than need to budget for it in a future year, she's asking to just replace that Pixelot purchase with the school or the scoreboard purchase at this time.
I have a question regarding the budgetary line that we're talking about. It's coded now as a code that's specific to equipment.
Yes.
And my understanding is that once the budget is set, that money can't be transferred into an equipment code,
Correct.
but money could be transferred out of an equipment code into a non-equipment code. Is that correct?
It depends, Dave. And our practice has been to only transfer funds between contingent budget codes, which means we would move money from an equipment code to another equipment code, which we've done, but we've never moved equipment money to, say, a contractual or a supply code.
But New York State regulations regarding purchasing prohibits transferring money that has not been allocated as equipment into an equipment code. They permit transfer of equipment to equipment, or they permit a transfer from equipment to a non-equipment code. not the reverse. So we do have the option to transfer it to another equipment code and use it for equipment, or we have the option to say, okay, we're not spending it on equipment. It can go into another non-equipment code. That may not be our practice, but is that the regulation?
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify that it's not an all or nothing.
I personally am in favor of this. I just want to know though, when we allotted this money, was it specifically for this Pixelate? Or was this part of her general budget to begin with?
Yes, it was specific for the Pixelot camera system.
Okay, so this is, okay, so it wasn't part of her general athletic funding. It was a separate thing for that Pixelot. Am I saying right? Pixelot?
Yeah.
Pixelate?
Yes, it was one of her budget initiatives that she presented to you last year.
Okay, so the question for us is whether we want to just now get the scoreboards in replacement of that Pixelot.
Correct.
What scoreboards are they, Sybil? Are they ones inside or?
The high school gym.
Oh, yeah.
They are
Is
the
there-
original scoreboards.
Is there another
So why,
streaming device, another piece of equipment other than this subscription-based service from Pixelot that we could look at? Because it seems like the notion of having the streaming of sports events is really a great service. And
We're looking at that. Angela's working with John Dodds to come up with a better solution.
So just for clarification, you know, it's not only sports that we're looking at plays, we're looking at other performances, and there's education law 2D, which becomes an issue. And in this particular case, the contract was a particular issue, but we are trying to work around it. We find it potentially valuable for our students to be able to stream these out and include the greater community in some of our athletics and other extracurricular activities.
it would be great. So is it premature to to utilize the funds for something other than equipment for streaming, which I would hope that we'd be able to identify some appliance that the district could purchase that would allow for streaming of various events, as you've mentioned. Once we transfer it and buy something else, then we don't have that money to do a streaming solution.
Right, but chances are a school-wide solution would not come from the athletics budget.
Okay.
We are actually looking at some items now, which would be more broad school-based and may go along with some other ideas in a package.
And do we currently have equipment money in another code that would support that? That's what I'm looking at.
Well, if in fact everything works out, we would come to you and have the money taken out of the general fund at this point. But we're not, I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
And are the scoreboards we have now no longer useful?
They're not supported in some of the functionality, Ron, and it's difficult to get parts, difficult to repair them. They're fading, I guess you could say. And the rep is indicating that, one is on its way out, and, we were able to get a better price if we would do both of them this year.
I see. Okay.
why was not the scoreboard put in the original proposal when asking for money? It seems to me that if it was really important at the time, they would have requested it. But now that money is not being used for something else, hey, why don't we spend it? It seems a little suspicious to me.
No,
Can you address why?
no ill will
Why was the
intent,
scoreboard?
Craig, at all. Angela really just tries to prioritize her purchases every year and not, create a long list.
Exactly, Craig. Why would you say that? I mean, just like with anybody that has a budget, they have to prioritize what they want first. So what she wanted first was this Pixelot. And then now she can't get it because based on, education law or whatever the case may be. So now maybe this is this was her second thing on her wish list. To imply what you just did was totally inappropriate and wrong. What is wrong with you? That is just wrong. Whoa.
Honey.
Can we have a head nod from the board, please? Oh my, I can't with you, Craig, tonight. Okay, we need a head nod. Are we okay
Well,
with letting
right,
her get the scoreboard? and
One
get the
other
Pixelot?
one other comment I would like to make is in terms of inappropriateness, is that we're willing to spend $7,000 on a scoreboard, which wasn't requested before, but we're not willing to spend $4,000 on a recruiter to get proper representation in the school for
All right, can we take
students.
a head
And I
nod?
find-
Alicia, where are you with this? You're okay with the scoreboard?
I'm
Heidi,
okay
where are
with it.
you? Okay.
I'm okay with the scoreboard.
Who's okay? Heidi?
Heidi.
Terry?
I'm okay with it because we're gonna do it in a
Joe?
couple of years anyway.
Ron already said he was okay. I'm
Well,
okay with it.
we're gonna
Dave?
do it in a
Linda's
couple of
okay.
years.
Linda's
If we're
okay.
gonna do it in
Dave?
a couple of years, why not
Yes.
wait the couple of years instead of doing it now? I mean, you're
Dave,
spending
are
money
you
as
okay
if
with the
there's no end.
scoreboard?
I am not fond of moving money out of an equipment code.
Okay, so you're no?
I would like to see it used for the purchase of streaming equipment. That was the original intent.
And Craig, you're a no, I'm assuming, correct?
Correct.
So we have, are you a no, Craig?
I am a no.
Okay, so we have 7 yes, 2 no.
I'm a
Ashley.
yes.
Thank you. Okay, there was one other additional item. Stella would like to say something. Where is Stella?
Right here. Thanks, Bonnie.
Sure.
Oh, see her.
I can hear you.
I
Oh,
wanted
okay.
to mention Pam Keeler retiring this year. She has been a mentor, an extremely kind woman, and a fabulous employee for Taconic Hills. We're really losing someone, and I'm happy to say she can't wait for her retirement. She
I
just-
bet.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy for her. Thanks, Stella. Okay, so now I need a motion to go into executive session. Can I have a motion, please? Ron, second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Dave.
So
Thank
folks,
you.
there's
Who
a,
do we need to stay?
well, I need Rick Vbrock and Sybil at this time.
All right. All in
And
favor of going to executive session? Aye.
Are we
Aye.
Aye.
staying on this Zoom, or are we going to a different Zoom?
There's
There
another
was
link.
something To a different one, Neil?
yes, it's in your
Okay.
email that this one came in.
Okay, I'll do that. All right. So good night, everyone.
So
Thank you
it's
for
different.
joining.
Oh,
Right.
did you just say it's a different code?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So where is it?
it's
It's
in
on
the
the
email that was
email
sent out
that
this
was
morning.
I saw the link for this meeting. I didn't see,
Okay,
It's
I didn't.
underneath it, Dave. It's underneath it on the same email. Like keep scrolling down, you'll see.
Okay,
okay.
let me check that.
I may not have read down the whole list then.